All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, that's us. So my name is Julian. I'm from Safe Labs. I'm a VP Revenue Relevant or Important, extremely important and responsible for everything monetization module and partnerships.
And I'm Sylvain. I'm a CPO and co-founder of Société Générale Forge. And so we are a stablecoin issuer, and especially we issue the Euro convertible. We can call it also EuroCV or EuroCV, as you prefer. I prefer EuroCV.
Great. So we're talking today about sovereignty stack towards currency resilience in DeFi. So you may be wondering, what is this for a couple on stage, right? I mean, we have on the one side a global systemically important bank, so GSIP, and on the other hand, it's a safe, basically the self-custody maxis or self-sovereignty maxis. How does this fit together? I mean, looking into, there's no point in kind of comparing us in size. I think you have a balance sheet of 1.3 trillion US dollars.
It's possible. You know better than me. It's perfect.
And we at Safe are at 40 billion. We are in DeFi, in crypto. We are behemoth. And yet it's almost impossible to compare the size of Société Générale and what SG Forge is a subsidiary of. So let's look into why we are here on stage together. We are here because we share one thesis, and it starts with the problem, and this is DeFi today has a fatal flaw. It works for many, but certainly not for all. Actually, many people cannot really use it. We'll get into the details here. But the point is, we have a joint mission and how to solve this. And about this, we're gonna talk now.
So I think for everyone in the room and that is involved in the DeFi ecosystem and the on-chain economy, it's quite clear that there is a USD dominance. I think it speaks for itself. And so the main problem is this dominance. So if we go to the next slide, it's pose a problem also for the DeFi. As there is only dollar and there is no alternative, there is a single point of failure. So I think what I like to mention when I try to pose this problem is to mention Markowitz. He said that diversification is the only free lunch for investing, but unfortunately, it's not true for DeFi user. And when today you are in this ecosystem, it means that you are applying for a USD long position, whether you want it or not. So it's a clear problem, and we hope to battle it with a new currency and a new issuer.
So, and to make it a little bit more tangible even, I want to talk about something that happened to me last year. So I was doing on-chain stuff, as we do, as we, I guess, all do, I hope. And I was having USDC in a Morpho vault managed by Stakehouse on mainnet. And I was getting yield of like roughly 3.75%, so it's above the Fed rate. It somehow makes sense. Last year it was even at 5%, so it was quite good. But what happened then is, you see here on the right side, the chart of dollar to euro, independent of, so just the forex exchange, right? So not independent of stables. And that lost from January 2025 until July, 13%. So I was basically stuck in a position that's yielding 5 something, 3.75 now. Let's say it was 5 last year. Over an entire year, I get, say, 5%. When I lose money on forex markets of 13% within just 7 months, this does absolutely make no sense for me as a European. As an American, it makes sense. As a European, absolutely not. So when we look into this, so that is what a colleague of mine who just joined our team on the sales side, he's from India, was sending in his very first week of us joining us basically mid-January. It's a picture of a printed newspaper page his parents have a subscription on, of the India Times. And what we can see here is that they are comparing basically how the rupee was doing from 1st of January 2025 until 1st of January, actually 21st of January in 2026, so over a year. And the rupee lost against the dollar 7%, against the euro 21%. So what we learn here is another picture, like you now have an Indian newspaper looking into Forex and seeing clearly, first of all, their own currency is not performing well. But second of all, it's not the dollar that is always and for everyone the solution. In fact, here, the solution would have been the euro. And so the flight to dollar is not always the best choice. However, diversification is. And also what we can take out here is FX is a risk and we need to adhere to it. So again, it's not about euro is the best currency, we all need euro stables. It is about choice, but currently DeFi is not giving us this choice.
So yes, as you said, is to provide the alternative to this ecosystem. And it is what we want to reach with EuroCV. Maybe you may be aware of what happened in the fiat world and the stablecoin world. You can be your bank account, your cash account can be frozen. Your money can be seized, and also sometimes some stablecoin issuer can make some mistake and by wrongly frozen some assets. So I would like to say that EuroCV is different, but EuroCV as a regulated stablecoin has the same control features than USD1, so I would like to say it's different, but not. We have this obligation from a compliance perspective. So in that purpose, it's not different. So the real question is not if whether the stablecoin are controllable or not, because it is controllable and we need to accept it. The real question is how to provide diversity within this ecosystem and to give access to the user to different stablecoin, to different to a diversification one. And maybe if we can go to the next one. And so I would like to come back on what you said on your experience. We have a lot of discussion with our let's say potential client, mainly in European, and to be honest, that want to have a strong alternative, reliable alternative within this ecosystem, and not to be focused on dollars. So they want to choose their currency exposure, mainly for risk monitoring, but also for traditional things like reporting, accounting reporting, or this kind of stuff. And something that is could be more interesting also, they want to have stablecoins that could fit or be maybe closer in terms of jurisdiction. So they are more happy, for example, in Europe, but it could be the case in other parts of the world, to not be focused on USD jurisdiction, but to be focused on their own jurisdiction, like European, for France or other jurisdiction. So the main thing that we want to bring with EuroCV is not this different compliance stuff, but it's to make DeFi or on-chain economy to strengthen this economy by, let's say, provide access to a diversity of currencies, of issuer, and of jurisdiction. And the main thing that maybe could be stressed and could be outlined on my side is SG Forge is a bank that is backed by Société Générale behind us. So it may be, or I'd like to say that, but happy to have a debate. But we could be the only euro stablecoin that is issued by a bank, and so the credit risk of this stablecoin is Société Générale. So I think it's quite relevant for this ecosystem to manage and to monitor risk differently.
So the question is now how to fix the problem of this strong dependency on dollar-denominated stablecoins. First of all, you need a way to safely buy a new asset and then also interact with lending. And we at Safe strongly believe that our solution is the best place to do it, especially when you max out on self-sovereignty. So we have in Safe more than $1 trillion processed in value. In the smart contracts, there are roughly 50 billion monthly TVP we have transfer total value processed within 1 month, 50 billion. We have at the moment 40 billion in TVL, that's basically stored currently in the safes, and we have more than 60 million different safes created on-chain. That's 60 million times the choice to go for max sovereignty. So probably our smart contracts are among the most established ones on chain, the most secure ones, the most with the most lindy. It's great to see also our tech team working on those smart contracts in the fifth row here. So if you want to talk to them, and one point that is extremely important for our GTM this year, and what we will focus on. So there are plenty of solutions for retail to do self-custody. But there's not so many solutions. In fact, we believe only Safe Multisig is the one solution that caters to enterprise who want to max out on self-sovereignty. It's certainly not custodian. There are other solutions like MPC, but here you have a very, very strong vendor lock-in. That is not the case with Safe Wallet. So if we talk about the dollar dependency and bring birth to a new asset that we will now hear more about from Sylvain, then it is equally important to also bring this value, this core value of disintermediation to crypto, and not just retail, but even to enterprise. And that's the infrastructure we are building.
And so I would like also to outline this partnership, because to be honest, well, we are a bank, so we took some time to execute all the partnership we have. Especially centralized exchange or other broker and so on. We considered also DeFi, I think maybe last year, and in DeFi it was a protocol but also a wallet provider, so it's something that is really important. And the main point that is difficult in this stablecoin ecosystem is all the bootstrapping of the how to set up a new currency. And so at the beginning, when we started to think about it, how to bootstrap, how to create this money on chain, this new currency on chain, it was always not to ensure that we will have the validation from compliance, we will have the validation from Société Générale, to go through POC or let's say comfortable use case like payment or settlement. But now we are convinced that, unfortunately, because it's expensive, that to bootstrap currency, it will go through a deep and reliable liquidity. And to be honest, your figure that you showed is really impressive. It's really impressive, and it is what you enable for us. I mean that thanks to you and this ecosystem, you provide us with a trusted access to liquidity, because voilà, you are one of the main trusted wallet in the ecosystem, and we can leverage on it. And so in return, we are committed also to work to make this currency as a real currency, as not a product. And so on our side, we push a lot to improve the feature for swap, for liquidity, and so on. So I think it's quite important to support the increase of the market cap through swaps, through MM, and also through your interface that could optimize the route for that. We also want to bring to the repo on-chain ecosystem some institutional. So we discuss with some partners that could be interested to deposit, but also to borrow on the lending protocols, on the repo protocol. And also, we want to make sure that EuroCV is considered as a safe asset, and we want to bring you, we want you to consider that EuroCV is a big partner, and because it is relevant, because it's trusted, because all the audit and all the compliance we have around us is not only painful and pretty, but it's also good for the ecosystem. So that's voilà, we hope we will bring that. And so maybe, and I hope, and I'm pretty convinced that in the future, and it will be after to build this liquidity that convertible will be used for the end goal for any currency, for any stablecoin. That is payment and settlement, but voilà, we need to work on it parallelly. But this first step to build the liquidity and is really important. So voilà, I want to stress this partnership. Maybe I can also give you some 2 words on this synergy, because the main point that is quite let's say difficult when we speak internally about an actor like you. That is, let's say, permissionless. We can say that without KYC. The KYC is everywhere in the bank, so it's a topic we spend a lot of time on. And so the real innovation of this partnership is that point. It means that we were able to partner with, let's say, non-custodial wallet, to consider it like a distributor, like a broker, but on-chain broker without KYC. And even if it's without KYC, the compliance and Société Générale was comfortable with this setup, because the innovation rely not on the KYC, but rely on all the on-chain transparency. Or sometimes there is a difficulty because they want data protection and so on, but let's say that it was quite comfortable for our compliance to consider that because you have a KYC, because as a stablecoin issuer we have some constraint and some obligation to monitor the circulating supply. In this case, you don't need to have KYC embedded in the protocol, and you can do it. So it's a good part. It's a good innovation.
And it's also a testament of this moment where GSIP is considering us, the self-sovereignty maxis, as the launchpad for a fully regulated asset. I think, yeah, we are very proud of this. And we can see.
Yeah, it's a good thing to show. So the demand start to pick up.
We have now €7.50 in it. Okay. No, it's an M missing. 7.5 million.
And yes, so I consider that in the list we are the biggest earn vault within your...
The list on the right side is showing our earn feature and the Morphe markets we have listed in Safe Wallet. And within 2 weeks, I think the EuroCV vault was the biggest.
Yeah. So it's quite good. Of course, we have at the bootstrapping phase. So of course, we help to attract this liquidity. You saw the API is quite impressive, but be sure that it will be a little bit less with the increase of the M. But there is demand for euro, there is demand for this kind of new asset. So especially since the USD decreased significantly against the dollar, but it's really good to see that.
Yes, and almost wrapping up here. This is a truly European project. We have Safe Wallet originated from Berlin with the Ecosystem Foundation in Switzerland. We have SG Forge as a daughter company of Société Générale based in Berlin, in Paris. We have Morpho, also originated from France, Steakhouse, I think mostly European team, and then also Kiln as the widget provider, also based in Paris. So it's almost a French-German partnership here when I see it. Exactly. But like, what's very important for me to stress here, this is not about like not American. It's not about anti-American. It's not about anti-circle. Hi, Patrick. No, it is about giving choice in terms of the tech stack in the infrastructure, giving choice about kind of the UI you use, giving choice of the asset issuer, the high quality asset issuer, that people can choose not just diversify on the currency risk and being in euro rather than in dollar, but also being diversified with regards to jurisdictional risk, also issuer risk, and many more things. And I think this is really interesting that this is possible, and we want to encourage everyone to diversify, not just in the assets you have, because you have, I don't know, a small beta and like uncorrelated assets or whatsoever, but also look deeper into the infrastructure. Is this the infrastructure you want to build on? And that example that we are talking here about today is a perfect example indicating that this is possible. That's your slide. Yeah.
No, the same thing to wrap up this discussion. I think as a bank, we prove that we are comfortable with DeFi. We are comfortable with protocol without, let's say, regular compliance or like bank compliance standing grade. And so now, voilà, we now, voilà, don't hesitate. EuroCV is at your service. You can build on top of this stablecoin. We are here to stay now. We prove that we can make something, a lot of things with the ecosystem. So let's connect and discuss what we can do with the euro and to ensure that there is diversification in this ecosystem, because dollar is really, let's say, a single point of failure that need to be concerned.
Yeah, towards more self-sovereignty. Thank you.
Thank you.